Okay. All right, finally. Just gonna make sure it's all working. God, it reset it. Okay, whatever. God, my computer's slow as hell, bro. Gonna load in like 4 hours. Oh. Whatever. I opened some ad. Oh my god. Bro, what the hell? Oh my god. 4 hours later. Why does it sound like that? Why does it sound like that? Yo, it's so delayed. That's actually crazy. Yo, it's so delayed. That's actually crazy. Fine. Alright. Power scaling things. Apple pie. Oh my god. See if I can even move it to begin with. Okay. Alright. Apple pie. Loki, I can honestly see like A or B. I'm gonna put it in B though. You know, cause like sugar could give you diabetes. Alright, wasps. Wasps are definitely S. Okay, hold up. Yeah. Alright, tier lists. Easily the... what's the word? The most, like, easy to do content type. I'd look, you say this is like D. Alright, the European Union. Pretty good, but I feel like kind of like falling off. I'm gonna say C. A bear. You know, bears are pretty good. Bears are strong. I honestly think a bear could take a wasp. Oh my god, this ad's in the way. I'm actually put it above the wasp. Oh, can I not do that? Hold up. Alright. Satan. Now, technically, Satan doesn't actually kill you to begin with. So lucky he's not really that strong. F. Goku. I feel like he's kind of like overrated. But, I mean, he's still got some strength. Better than the European Union. Maybe better than apple pie, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna just put him behind apple pie for now. Alright, my friend who wouldn't send me a picture of himself and told me to use this instead. Just because he wouldn't send me a picture, he's in F tier. Alright, LeBron. I feel like LeBron honestly is A tier. Kanye. Ignoring like recent stuff, I'd say he's honestly on par with apple pie. Apple pie and Goku. Justin Trudeau. Honestly, I feel like he's more European Union in tier list. Like he doesn't reach like Goku or Kanye. Maybe better than the European Union though. Alright, Kai Cenat. Honestly, like I feel like he's just some guy at the end of the day, right? So I'd have to put him behind tier lists. Alright, cheetahs. You know, like fastest land animal, but honestly, they're not really all that. Gazelles outplay them all the time. I'm gonna put them above Satan though. Donald Trump. He's kind of European Union level. He's not really Goku or Trudeau, but I feel like maybe like a little under European Union, you know? Logan Paul. Nah, boxes. None of these people are old, although he is old. So I guess he is here. Oh, hold up. Yeah. Alright, Xi Jinping. I feel like he might be on par with apple pie. Oh my god. Yeah. But I have to give it to apple pie. Like apple pie still in first for B tier. Vladimir Putin. He's better than Trump, but he's not better than Trudeau. you know? The Elden Beast. To be honest, I feel like this is Wasp level, maybe even a bit stronger. Me. Honestly, like, not even glazing myself or anything. I could take a bear. I could take a bear. So, like, it's like light work. Benjamin Netanyahu. Honestly, he's not really Trump level. I wouldn't really give Kai Cenat either. I'm lucky gonna put him behind Satan. Alright, John Wilkes Booth. You know, shot Abraham Lincoln. So he's already up a president. Hold up. So he's at least here. Minimum C tier. But to be honest, like, he's kind of tough in this picture. I have to move him up ahead of European Union. Vlad the Impaler. Name alone gets him B tier above Goku. But honestly, I think he can pull ahead. I think he pulls ahead of LeBron. But he's behind Logan Paul. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good tier list. You know? I don't really see any changes that could be done. Although I could argue like switches in places maybe. But I feel like this is like pretty solid. Although cheetahs, okay, let's say scenario. You're in a straight line. It's like 100 meters length. Walls on either side. If you put yourself in there, a cheetah will get you. Because like it can't turn. So it doesn't gotta worry about that. So certain scenarios, I'd say cheetah is honestly above tier list. But overall, since when are you gonna end up in a hallway with a cheetah? I'd say it's F tier. You know what? I will move my friend up. This is a pretty bad category to be left in. Honestly, let's ignore how he didn't send me a picture. I'd say he's better than Apple Pie, but not better than LeBron. So he's A tier. But so far, like, I mean, Logan Paul, no one's older than him up here. I mean, who knows how old the Elden Beast is. And I mean, this is a singular wasp. I'm pretty sure they live like 2 weeks. Same with bears. They're like, I mean, not 2 weeks, but like, they don't get old. And obviously, I'm not old either. So honestly, we're all beating him. Apple Pie, I like the placement. Kai Cenat. Yeah. Donald Trump, the EU, John Wilkes Booth. Well, is Vladimir Putin a president? Well, let me just check that. Because if he is, this might be a W for John Wilkes Booth. I'm looking not with... Oh, yeah, he is. President of Russia. 72. Damn, what the hell? I did not know this guy was 72. Alright, but that's a 1 up for John Wilkes Booth. Oh my god, my computer is so slow. So yeah. I feel like John Wilkes Booth would body all these people. Although it's kind of odd. It's kind of hard to, do John Wilkes Booth. Because it's like when a character has like a power that specifically beats another character, but they can't beat anyone else. So how can you really call them strong? So I feel like even though he could take both of them, I feel like overall, if he were to be put against literally anyone else, he's not faring well. He might be Kai Cenat level. So maybe weaker than Kai Cenat. Honestly, I feel like cheetahs. maybe overall, they're pretty bad, but they've clearly survived evolution this long. They're doing something right. So maybe the goal is to trick people into thinking they can't catch them on camera. Every time they're being recorded, they miss. So people get like a false sense of hope. And they think, oh, cheetah? Nah, I can just sidestep it. But really, they're like FTL levels. Honestly, I think cheetah, if that's true, could be Xi Jinping level. But I think I won't put him ahead of Xi Jinping. I'll put him behind Kanye, actually. Just for now. But honestly, this is pretty good ranking. The EU... Honestly, I feel like the EU does beat Putin. Like overall, if we're talking overall statistics, the EU is more like, organized than Putin is, so they've got like an upper hand there. Justin Trudeau's obviously better. Goku, yeah. Goku couldn't beat a cheetah. Honestly, I feel like apple pie, like it's borderline A tier. I feel like it could spill in to A tier if you put more sugar in, You see, like, when you're making it, there's obviously a specific amount of sugar. But you can just put more in. Or, like, sometimes you eat apple pie with ice cream. That's extra sugar. Oh my god. So, really, okay, so overall, apple pie might be Vlad the Impaler level. Like oh my god, move. Okay, it might be Vlad the Impaler level. Like, it's really good. Wasps, to be honest, like, they can't take a bear. I know that for certain. But could they take the Elden Beast? Okay, so in this scenario, it's one wasp. This is singular wasp. I feel like the Elden Beast is too big. Although this might be like another... I already forgot what I've already been talking about. Whenever I said, like, characters built to defeat one person but can't beat anyone else. It's big, so it won't be beaten by this, the wasp, but it beats... it beats still a lot of people. Although I feel like I might downgrade it, to be honest, behind Logan Paul. Honestly, I feel like... Hold up. Quick recon. Alright. So, honestly, depending on his answer, like, he could move up right here. Alright, he does like apple pie. That's honestly a nerf, to be honest. Like, he can't surpass apple pie. So apple pie will stay ahead of him, but LeBron, I feel like LeBron, because he's an athlete, he burns it all. He honestly passes apple pie. So he's ahead of apple pie, and I feel like he's ahead of both. I feel like his age doesn't really factor in this much, so Logan Paul doesn't get the one up on him. Because, like, I don't know how old he is. He's like 30 something, but he plays like he's 20. So Logan Paul, it's like fighting a 20-year-old. There's like, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna go for it. Alright. Also, I'm pretty sure, I don't know how old Goku is either, bro. Damn, he's 45? Holy. That's actually insane. Alright, yeah, no, Goku is not moving up. If anything, he's moving down. Loki, Justin Trudeau? Like, I might be kind of biased, but he's actually, like, he might be apple pie levels. Actually, he might actually be wasp levels. Justin Trudeau might actually be wasp level. Because, like, hear me out. He's a guy. And obviously, he's got more, like, mass and all. But not like the Elden Beast, who was just mass and couldn't take a wasp on his own. Justin Trudeau could kill a wasp. So I feel like that could actually put him ahead of Wasp. Yeah. Alright. And so, I feel like this is a pretty good list. John Wilkes Booth. I feel like Kai Cenat. Hold up. Because, let's see. I feel like my mouse is about to die. It's like flashing like crazy. The hell is Good Burger 2? Dexter? What is his net worth? Okay, well, I got 4 different numbers. I'm just gonna guess and say 50 million. Alright, Loki, I feel like even though the EU definitely has more money, I feel like the way Kai Cenat uses the money puts him ahead of EU. Oh, whoops. But then obviously we gotta upscale John Wilkes Booth. Although no we don't, because like he's broke, I think? I don't know. But I mean, although, okay, overall, he can take out 2 presidents, and since the presidents are super low, I feel like it's pretty justifiable to actually move him over them. Because, like, obviously, he's beating everyone down here. They're not doing anything to him. Okay, so this is a pretty good list. Although I feel like Justin Trudeau and LeBron, the same argument can apply for the Wasps. LeBron might actually move up to S tier. I feel like he's not as good as handling Wasps as Justin Trudeau, but he's definitely up there. Now, we only have tier lists in D tier, and I don't want to just put something in D tier just for something else to be there, because I honestly look at this and think it's empty half the time because it blends in. But to be honest, like, Donald Trump, he might be tier list level. If I'm being real, he is not really, like, he's old, he's dying, nothing is proper with his body. He is tier list level. Although he might actually be Satan level. Like, low-key, I feel like influence does bring him up a bit. Although Satan has influence too. I don't want to upscale Satan though. I might downscale Donald Trump. Alright. Honestly, like, you might be like, oh, why can't you use the same argument for them for these people? And because they can't handle wasps like these two can. Like, what Jake Paul fights old people. He is not taking a wasp. That's like fighting a newborn baby for him. Like, it's not happening. Xi Jinping, I mean, he's below apple pie. Like, a wasp is folding him. Goku, yeah, same thing. One hit, Goku's down. Alright. But to be honest, I feel like Goku might move. I could honestly see him like he might be apple pie level, but I feel like he's close to apple pie level, but he's not there, you know? I think I'll put him behind my friend. Yeah, this is pretty good. Because he's not really at apple pie level. But he's kind of close, you know? Like, I feel like, okay, give him like 10 years of training. I feel like he surpasses apple pie. He might actually, alright, so I don't want to be like giving people free passes, really. But let's say 10 years time, all of these people, honestly, like half of them are going to be dead. This guy's already dead. Honestly, I feel like in 10 years time, it's just going to be me, the bear, Justin Trudeau, LeBron, apple pie, my friend, who I almost, Logan Paul, Kanye, Kai Cenat, honestly, and Satan and tier lists. Everything else, I think, is going to disappear. Oh, and cheetahs. Cheetahs are going to stick around too. I forgot that. So I feel like 10 years time, if he can wait it out, he can match Logan Paul. And I feel like Logan Paul by then, like the fame for influencer boxing is going to like die out a bit. So he won't really like pursue it as much because, you know, there's not much in it. So he's going to stop training as hard and Goku can surpass him. So I feel like overall, Goku does have the ability to pass Logan Paul. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. And then you might be like, oh, if these people are already dead, why do they count as anything? Well, because we're taking it like, you put them all into a room, right? And then you let them fight. From that point on, that's when they, like, their life starts, essentially. But they'll just die again, you know? Like, I'm pretty sure the life expectancy for this guy's age, like, era age, was like 3. He's dying in 10 years. How old was he when he died, actually? Because that might put him above Jake Paul. Because I feel like if he died younger, like 20, 30, I could see him beating Jake Paul. Dang, why is everyone so old? Holy, how are he and Goku the same age? That's actually insane. Alright, so, yeah, no, he's not beating Jake Paul. Jake Paul beats Vlad the Impaler. Easy, like light work, folded. Even 10 years time, Vlad, like Jake still wins, so Jake keeps his spot. Oh wait, this is Logan Paul. Have I been saying Jake Paul? Okay, whatever. Everything I said still stands anyways. Yeah, Logan Paul still beats him. Honestly, I don't know which one fights old people, to be honest. I don't really watch them at all. One of them does. And it's like a bloodline thing, so it might carry over to the other brother. Maybe not in full, but in part. I'd say more than enough to beat Vlad the Impaler, but not enough to beat Goku, you know? Honestly, Cheetah, Kai Cenat, like he's above the European Union, but I feel like generally both of them should be B tier above Cheetahs. Because I feel like Cheetahs, you know, they have like a pretty good advantage in most scenarios, but they're not like that crazy. Like they couldn't really match any of the other B tier contestants. So really, Cheetah's like bottom B tier, top C tier at best. So I feel like that's a pretty good placement for him. Honestly, John Wilkes Booth, like I feel like Vladimir Putin isn't really like John Wilkes Booth level, you know? Like I feel like he's closer to like tier list. I'd say he definitely beats tier list, but he doesn't beat John Wilkes Booth. But in an even playing field, John Wilkes Booth definitely beats everyone below him already. So now it's just a matter of if he can beat even Cheetah. And honestly, no. Like I feel like none of these humans or things are beating the Cheetah. Like they're all old, they're not really mobile. This guy, I mean, he had a gun, but like FTL, so it doesn't really matter. Although I feel like I think Kanye with the recent fall off, might actually put Kai Cenat ahead of him. And to be honest, I've honestly, through sheer, through only like audience and knowability or whatever, I feel like Kai Cenat might actually rival Vlad the Impaler and Logan Paul. Like I feel like because he beats my friend in Apple Pie like easy-ish. He beats like mid diff beats the Elden Beast. He might high diff Vlad the Impaler. It's like a impossible diff Logan Paul. So I feel like in the right circumstances, Kai Cenat could be Goku level. But I'd say like it's so unlikely, even over the 10-year time skip, that I don't want to move him past Logan Paul. But it feels wrong to keep him in B tier. Like he's not a B tier guy. So I feel like he like light clears all of these, and he high diffs Vlad the Impaler. So that's like kind of like they're similar levels. So I'm putting him there. Also, I feel like the argument for my friend is the same as Goku and Justin Trudeau. Like he could beat a wasp. Although hold up, let me just ask. Because to be honest, like depending on his answer, he could be in S tier. But let's see. Hopefully he actually answers though. But in the meantime, I guess. Honestly, the fall-off is honestly great for him. European Union clears Kanye, but gets stopped by Xi Jinping. It's like when you have one character, like two characters in the same tier, but like one of them is like kind of weakish, and the other one's like super strong, but they're like the max and min of that tier. So they're still within the tier, but there's such a big power gap between them that it looks like they're similar in power, but like they're not at all. Like Kanye is like bottom B, and Xi Jinping is top B, bottom A. But I feel like he's more top B than bottom A. So he doesn't really land here, but he stops European Union. Kanye, honestly, I feel like with what he is doing, I feel like the Cheetah could take him. Like, honestly, to be honest, like Cheetahs, max potential Cheetah might actually rival Kai Cenat. But like, okay, so max potential Cheetah, light speed, running, like Wally West levels, Mobius chair Wally West. Like he's bodying most of these people. But he gets stopped at Kai Cenat. He high diffs the Elden Beast, and impossible diffs Kai Cenat. Like 1 out of every 1,000,000,000,000 fights that Cheetah wins. So I feel like he could be moved up here. Alright, he still hasn't answered. I'm gonna make an executive decision. I feel like he could beat the Elden Beast and Apple Pie. He like mid diffs the Cheetah. I feel like he mid diffs Kai Cenat also, but I feel like he more or less gets stopped at Vlad the Impaler. Like it's like a high diff where they're maybe in the same place, but I'd say like maybe it's like 1 in every 30 fights he wins. Those are still better odds than the Cheetah versus Kai Cenat, but I feel like Vlad he stops it right there. Honestly, with the movement of Apple Pie, like it went from the start of A to the bottom of A. Like Apple Pie is falling off in real time. I feel like since Xi Jinping is like top B, bottom A, Xi Jinping might clear Apple Pie. Because although Xi Jinping is old, and sugar when you get older, it starts to damage you more. So really, Apple Pie might actually clear Elden Beast. Not Cheetah though. It doesn't clear any of these people. Because while, some of them are old, they're like active, so they burn it all off. So the sugar isn't really a problem. But Elden Beast, like, he sits around till you get there. Like he is dying before anything. So Apple Pie clears Elden Beast. Honestly, Xi Jinping, like realistically, Xi Jinping high diffs Elden Beast. Like maybe every 1 to 5. Those are pretty good odds though. Like if I wanted a 20% chance for some guy to beat some other guy, those are pretty good odds. I mean, obviously, like, if the other guy has so much more skill, that 20% doesn't really mean anything. But the Elden Beast, like, if you think about it, the only thing he's got is like that wave of stars. I forgot what it was called, bro. But like, Xi Jinping, he doesn't really have anything to counter that move, but Xi Jinping can counter all the other moves well enough that I think if the Elden Beast resorted to that as like a final move to try to end the fight quick, Xi Jinping would have already worn down the Elden Beast enough where he could get in a final hit. That's like the 1 in 5. So I feel like, say everyone was to fight everyone else 10 times. You might think statistically Xi Jinping is winning twice, but honestly, I feel maybe 4 times. And that's not, you might be like, no, that's not that good. But like realistically, to clear this barrier, like look at this, look at A tier. It's got some stacked people. B tier, like it's pretty mid at the end. So I feel like for him to surpass the midness of B tier and still break into A tier, in and of itself should put him into A tier. But I think, like, more or less, should still be behind the Elden Beast, but in A tier. So I feel like that is good placement. My god, he is not responding. Alright. To be honest, like, I know I've left tier list in D for the entire time. Like, I put them in D and then never touched them again. But honestly, I feel like if you think about it, I know I said earlier that it's like the laziest form of content, but low key, it might clear Vlad the Impaler. Like, listen, to make a tier list, you gotta get all this stuff. The very act of creating a tier list has enough energy to rival Vlad's like strongest attack. So just the action of making one negates his attack, his strongest attack. So the tier list in and of itself has that power, has that potential to counter Vlad the Impaler. So I feel like if it's utilized properly, tier list does beat Vlad the Impaler. And I know, okay, I know I said, Kai Cenat gets hard stopped at Vlad the Impaler, but he knows people who have made tier lists. I mean, probably, I'd assume so. I'm going off of that. So that actually puts him above tier list, and now that I'm making a tier list, that actually puts my friend above a tier list also. Oh, whoops. So both of them clear tier list, because now they're in on the power. So they got the power, and now they can negate tier list and everyone behind it. So, and I mean, like, Vladimir Putin, what the hell? Vlad the Impaler. He hasn't ever even heard of a tier list. I don't even think those words existed in his time. Cheetos can't fathom tier lists. Apple Pie can't either. Elden Bees, no. Xi Jinping. Honestly, I can kind of see Xi Jinping maybe seeing one, but honestly, I heavily doubt it. Kanye, no. No. John Wilkes, definitely not. Trump, no. Satan, no. Benjamin, no. And you might be like, well, Wasp, Bears, and Goku haven't heard of tier list either, but they already have access to tier list level powers, and they just build off of that. So they start baseline tier list, and then they rise up. That's why they are where they are. And you might, honestly, Bears, I feel like Bears, Justin Trudeau, he can genuinely, he can take a bear. I feel like LeBron, it's a 50-50 for LeBron. But those are pretty good odds. He is evenly matched with the bear enough where it's an interesting fight that you would want to watch. But I'd say it might honestly be 51-49 in LeBron's favor. So more often than not, LeBron does beat the bear. But bear still heavy clears Wasp. And to be honest, I like Kai Cenat, he has access to tier list powers, but I feel like the way he utilizes them is so underdeveloped that it's like you give a newborn a plasma cannon or something. That puts them on par with a lot of people, but they can't do anything with it. They don't know what it's doing or what it is. So Kai Cenat, he has tier list powers, but he can't utilize them properly. And since he clears Vlad, he hard clears Vlad, they might both drop down to European Union level. Oh, still above Kanye though, because Kanye doesn't have tier list powers, although Vlad doesn't either. So Vlad and Kanye might be the same person more or less. They're equal in power level is what I'm saying. I'm liking this. Xi Jinping, yeah, he clears EU, but he doesn't have tier list powers. Honestly, I said cheetahs don't know what a tier list is, but I feel with their, it's like the Speed Force, really. With their faster than light travel, they run fast enough to gain access to tier list powers without even knowing what a tier list is. So with that alone, I don't know why I said it like that. With that alone, I think they clear maybe even Goku. Although, I mean, Goku's baseline tier list, and obviously he gets stronger, but Cheetah's, their higher rank is tier list. So I'd have to put him here. feel like they still beat Logan Paul, but it might be like tough. Oh, hold up. This might actually be both of them. Now that I've been looking at it. Alright. New information came in. This might be Logan Paul and Jake Paul. I didn't consider any of that before. I thought it was one or the other. Obviously, when I downloaded this picture, I only searched Logan Paul, but whatever. Anyways, since it is both of them, the double team actually puts them into S tier. Like, they pass Wasps. I feel like they get stopped by bears, because bears are like natural counters to like tag teaming. So they get stopped by bears because they rely too much on the duoing. So they can't really, like, one goes out and the other just doesn't know what to do. So the bear would easily win that, but they would beat a wasp. It might be hard, but honestly, it's like LeBron. It might be like 52-48 for them. It's close, but more often than not, they will win. Honestly, like apple pie, it might rival tier list in taste. Okay, so like listen, tier list, like if you were to eat a tier list, usually tier lists are on screens. You know, eat screens, it's like metal, electricity, all sorts of copper, stuff like that. All of that just combines and it tastes like blood, which low-key doesn't taste that bad. But apple pie clears blood. So apple pie clears tier lists. You know? You get it? Hold up. Oh my god. Whatever. Okay. Apple pie clears tier lists. Honestly, Vlad the Impaler, I feel like, okay, put him in a room with Kanye. Kanye is going to be like, kind of confused, you know? This historic man is just in a room. He's going to be, you know, off his game. It would put most people in this row and down off. Like, they'd be like, whoa, is that Vlad the Impaler? And that moment of hesitation does actually give Vlad the chance to even the playing field. So Kanye, it's like, what's a good example? Okay, it's like Kingpin and Spider-Man, you know? That one comic where he just breaks into jail and beats him up. But normally, you know, it's like kind of like an even fight until he decides not to mess around. So I feel like that's what this is. When Vlad gets the upper hand, like, it is domination. It is over for Kanye. So he's definitely, like, he can more often than not beat Kanye, you know? Now you might be like, what about Kai Cenat? He would have like the same reaction. I feel like he would, but the skill gap, the strength gap is so great. Kai Cenat could have eyes closed, hands tied behind his back, legs bound, drowning, and he would still beat Vlad the Impaler. And same with EU. Like, obviously, the EU beats Vlad the Impaler. I feel like, alright, to be honest, it might be the same with John Wilkes Booth, though. Well, I feel like that's more niche, you know? Like, people know John Wilkes Booth, but they don't, like, no one really knows what he looks like. Everyone knows Vlad the Impaler, you know, what he looks like, everything. But John Wilkes Booth, he's really a name and action, no face. So I feel like if he showed up, he has the added element of, I don't know who this guy is, but he looks super old. So now you're confused. You're trying to like think of historic people. Like, who could this guy be? I don't know. He looks honestly like any generic guy in like the 1800s or the 1900s or the 1700s. All those years blend together. So with that, Like, that's such a downgrade in his opponent's power skill. Whatever. That he can close the Kai Cenat gap. He does surpass Kai Cenat. Because Kai Cenat doesn't get fooled by Vlad the Impaler, but John Wilkes Booth confuses him. Because no one knows who John Wilkes Booth looks like. Everyone knows the name. And if he doesn't give his name, like if he just says John, he's like, that's the most basic common name ever. So if Kai Cenat met this guy, he's like, I'm John. Kai's gonna be like, what? Who? He's gonna be racking his brain, thinking, who is this John? He's dressed wrong. He's dressed old fashioned, not with the trends. What's with all this getup? This old gun. Does he not know, things have been invented recently? And all these thoughts are going through his head. They're like power dampeners, bringing his power level down slowly. And it's not like instantaneous, so if he like snaps out of it, he can beat him. But it's so hard to snap out of it that he does win. And you might EU. They got a bunch of libraries. Yeah, they beat John Wilkes Booth easy. Really, really easy. Because while EU and Kai Cenat power levels are relatively equal, the EU is older than John Wilkes Booth. Yeah, that might actually not be true. But whatever. I've said it, so now it is true. I'm an S tier. You're not. Cry about it. Alright, the EU is older than John Wilkes Booth. So the EU won't be like, oh, I don't know who you are. Because the EU saw it. The EU saw the newspapers. They saw his picture. So John goes up. He's like, hi, I'm John. The EU is like, bet. And they blow him up. So I feel like this is pretty good. Well, China's pretty old. It's not like Erdtree level old, but like it is pretty close. I mean, he doesn't have access to tier list powers, so he doesn't actually pass tier list, so he can't break into like higher A tier. So he's really stuck in here. All he can be is here or here. It's not that big of a change, really. And to be honest, he's like tied. Oh my god. He's like tied. They're shifting constantly. Okay, whatever. You get the point. Anyways. Kanye does beat Vladimir Putin. But I feel like, okay, so let's say Kanye goes up against Vlad the Impaler. Sorry. He gets confused, knocked down. He loses his spot. That puts him in like a loser mindset. So now he's like freaking out. He's like, oh my god, I need to get my spot back. So now he's freaking out. Putin can come in and be like, yeah, I got you. I'll help you get your spot back. And Putin can use his manipulation technique to get Kanye's power and be like, nah, yeah, I'm helping you. And that actually would put Kanye down. So if Putin meets Kanye after Vlad the Impaler, Putin can take Kanye's power and I feel like not move up to B tier, only move up to high C tier, but it would bring Kanye down to C tier with him. But that is a pretty big maybe. Like Kanye has to see the Impaler, Vlad the Impaler, and then meet Putin. I mean, Putin, like, he has a pretty big gap. D tier is fully empty. Everyone hard clears these three. Like, they are not putting up any numbers. So, Putin, he's pretty much in last place right here. Like, this tier might as well not exist. Because if you're in a tier and there's no one in the tier above you, and one person in the tier above that, like it's low-key over. If you get put in a bottom tier with an empty row and one person in the tier above the empty row, even if there's two people in the above the empty row tier, like it's not good. It does not look good for you. Because how are you ending up under an abyss? Air is beating these three. Straight up oxygen, O2, is beating these three. So yeah, these three are pretty sad. Honestly, like I feel like Trump and Satan might be similar power levels, but I kind of feel like Satan clears Trump, you know? Oh my god. Okay. All right. Honestly, I'm pretty proud of this list, you know? It's pretty accurate to the world. I don't know. There's not really much I would change. I feel like the only thing that could change is if he got back to me about the the wasp, if he could beat a wasp. Because if he can beat a wasp, that does put him above wasps. And honestly, he has access to tier list powers, so he's already on par with these two. I feel like with tier list powers and a wasp death under his belt, he clears Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Because they could duo. They could run up on him duoing. But with tier list powers and a beaten wasp, he could win. Like, he's got access to, my powers also. So that evens the playing field a bit. But he hasn't responded, so he sticks below wasps. And that puts him below, cheetahs and Goku. So yeah, low-key, I think that's pretty good. I think I'm going to end it there. Just look at it. This is the... This is the final tier list. Screenshot it. Show your friends. This is the definitive tier list. If you want me to add people, this tier list is probably going to delete itself and I won't be able to access it again, and I'm not going to remake it. I mean, in the exact same way. If you tell me to add people, obviously that changes the battlefield. So people might not be in the same spots. But tell me who I should add to the tier list. Anything, anyone, any place, whatever. Just tell me and I'll do it.